is a revelation of a mentality. Revelation of a mentality. Have you ever wondered why rich people don't allow poor people to marry their daughters? Have you wondered why? Rich people don't allow poor people to marry their daughters. It's not because of the money you will take from them. It's not because of the food you will eat. It's because of the mindset you carry. So they are afraid that you will infect their family with the mentality. So they will have grandchildren who carry poverty mentality. Before they know what's happening, they waste all their wealth. So it's about a mentality. It's about a mentality. And so a carrier of a mentality tells us who the person is. Yesterday we saw that before you can access wealth in the world, you must become a person who can access it. You must carry the mindset. Wishing. Because if it were wishing, everybody should have it. It's not so. A mentality. I think last I did, and I want us to start with that mathematics again, then we will understand this concept of becoming a person who can access wealth. I said, let's say this is you. You moment now. What's going to happen? Do you agree with that? Can you say? By the time we put more money into your hands, if we put more money into your hands, we'll have a new you. True or false? Your behavior will change. Your friends will change. Even the way you dress will change. That's when your old friends will show up and you will say, wait a minute, level don't change. We don't belong to the same. There will be many new things about you. Many new things will appear about you. Let's do mathematics. This one. Mathematics. Let's do some mathematics. Let's subtract x on x. So we have x. Do you see that? Now, those who do mathematics, you know, let's cancel x on both sides, right? So we have z minus x. If we go back to this, what is y? What is z? What is x? Which we can call old you. Right? So this was that for you to see me, you must what? Hello? For you to see more money, you must become a new person. And this new thing, you are where you are today because of the mindset you carry. It's the mindset that has stopped you. Those of you who are here in the morning, we are told that we attract money. Is that not so? Money flows towards us. Money flows to your life. So the concept of becoming is simply We are saying that before anything will come to you, you must be the type of person that can have that thing. Others are wishing that they have horses, not because there's scarcity of horses, but there are people who can't attract horses. There are people who can't have horses, and there are requirements for having anything. Because everything comes with a responsibility. And until you become a person who can accept that responsibility, you won't see. You won't see. And God will not entrust into your hands. Let me say this. I was telling them in the morning that I was speaking somewhere, and I was saying, when God gives you, and then the Lord reminded me that God does not give anything. God entrusts. And by what our manual has 5:14 said, he gave one. He gave one, two. One. His ability. So God will not give you what you want. God will not entrust into your hands what you want. He will entrust into your hands what you can manage. There are certain things that you need to be able to manage a thing. When we talk of responsibility, before you, humans may not understand it. Sometimes we give people appointments that they don't have the capacity for. We employ people and entrust into their hands things that they don't have what it takes to be responsible for the things. So for employers of labor, before you employ somebody and entrust into him his hand or whatever the job position, make sure the person is a person who can be responsible at that position. He or she has what it takes to carry out the functions of that position. And many of us see the world as a place that is haphazard. So every time you want, the world is well organized, controlled by laws. There are principles. Everything in the world follows patterns based on principles. Everything in the world. Nothing just happens haphazardly. And so you will never wake up one day and wish for something or desire something, and it will just be given to you on a platter of gold. Galatians chapter 4, verse 1. Heir is the inheritance will not be given to him. Once you are born into a family, you are entitled to inheritance. Is that not so? But if you are not, if you have not grown, if you don't have the capacity to receive inheritance. And that's the problem we have with Christians today. Many of us, God our Father owns everything and we are entitled to it, but we have not grown. And until you grow, he will not give us anything. I'm crying. But until you acquire what will enable you have the capacity to receive this responsibility, because everything is a responsibility. You buy a dress, because it's expected you maintain it. If God entrusts into your hands a business, he expects you to do it well, to run it with it well. But for that to happen, you must be a person who can do it. Luke 16, 1 right through to 13 makes us to understand that whatever is given to you, whatever is entrusted in your hands that you can't manage, is taken away from you. Corinthians 4:2 said it's expected that a steward be found faithful. That Matthew 25:18-19, it says, because you have been faithful with little, I will give you more. So requirement number one, friends, is you will be entrusted with the responsibility. The mistakes we make many a times is that when we want to give people responsibility, or we expect that people should, then we talk about skills. You train them in how to do, or you tell them what to do, and you expect them to do. It doesn't happen like that. That's why information, motivation, does not lead to change, because there is more you need for change than just information and motivation. Things that it to carry. What are these things that a human being needs to be able to carry out it? We looked at them and we said represented by an acronym called ACTS, not Acts of the Apostles. ACTS. ACTS stands for A, stands for attribute. In other words, there are some inherent things one must have to be able to do anything. They are part of him. There are things that are in him as a person. We call them attributes. Then C stands for competence. Competencies. The ability to do some things. Competence. Ability. S stands for tools. Tools. When you have these things, you will have access to what we call power. Because before you can cause any change, you need the power to do it. Deuteronomy verse 8, we are told God gives us the power to create wealth. He gives us the power to create wealth. Friends, this power that God gives us is not something that just comes on you, boom, like that. And then you just wake up and say, now you can go and create wealth. This power, you have access to it when you have the attributes, the competencies, and the tools. And we saw this morning that these competencies and tools can be represented by K, 2. I was telling them somewhere, I think maybe part of the problem is my engineering. Don't mind me. So, what do these stand for? How do they enable a person to do the things that he's expected to do? How do they give a person the power to do? Tomorrow we'll talk about them. Let's talk about, because when you tell people things, for example, go and do this, they may not do it unless they have a reason for doing it. So if you know what role this play in your life in enabling you to do anything, I'm sure you'll be able to go and look for them, or to live in a way that you can acquire them. So the first is K, and yes for knowledge. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, my people, by knowledge. Many of us that are born again Christians, we are suffering for lack of knowledge. Because in the kingdom, as a citizen of the kingdom, need for knowledge. The kingdom of God is not a place for ignorant people. If you are ignorant, you will suffer. There will be no difference between you and somebody who does not know. Knowledge is foundational. Knowledge is foundational. But there's something I want you to note. What is knowledge? What is knowledge? When you read a book, when you are in a seminar like this and you are listening to a speaker talking, he's not giving you knowledge. What he is giving you are facts. Facts. You are being given facts. It's expected that when you leave this place, that's why when I see people come to a seminar or even church service and they are sitting down listening to the speaker like that, I know they are not ready. Because how sharp your brain is. It's always said the shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. So if you put it down, you can have review. So it's expected that as you sit down and listen to these teachings, you must go back, sit down, go over it again, analyze them. Analyze the facts that you have been given. Try to, which one, what does he mean by this? What was he saying concerning this subject we are talking about? Okay, now I know what he's talking about. I understand what, okay, this is what he's talking about. I understand it. And yesterday I asked this question, I said, how many of you have ever sucked sugar cane? Some people raise their hands. Is that not so? If I were to ask you to tell me how sweet sugar cane, you, but if I say, do you know how sweet sugar cane is? You know it. Is that not so? But you can't express it. But you have the experience. You understand it. That's understanding. I give you facts about sugar cane, but experience it. In the same vein, by the time you have facts about something, then you sit down and go over it. Relate it to your experience. Relate it to things you have seen around you. Then you arrive at the point, I know what he's talking about. And it is only when you get to that level where you say, oh yes, okay, this is what he's talking about. I know now because you've understood. And when you apply what you know comes, you can apply it. And it is when you apply it, that's why he said you are don't know what to do about the problem. It not to be a problem because you don't know how to problem what to do. That's what knowledge. Knowledge is all about the money you can get, the salary that you are paid. That's why they do work wrongly. So it's no. The starting point is knowledge. How you acquire knowledge, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But know it that the starting point of everything, if you are to do it, is correct knowledge. Correct knowledge. Because there's wrong knowledge. Correct knowledge. 2C are two words starting with C. And C1 is character. character. What is character? And why is character needed in an activity? Why do you need the character before you can do something? Many times when we mention the word character, people are saying honesty, integrity. Those are properties of a good character. Character of it has to do with material science. So it is the properties of the thing determined by its nature. The character of a thing is determined by its nature. So when its nature is one, it's not mixed. So character gives you what it gives. Why do you need to have inner strength? Why do you need to be able to moral strength? In this world, anytime you want to do something, because are not just free for the taking. Everything takes 5. You will realize that wealth that we are talking about, why many of us think that it is scarce, because it is under lock and key. Wealth is guarded. It's not in the chapter 45. God was saying to Cyrus, I will reveal to you wealth hidden in secret places. So wealth is not open. They are guarding that there's protection. There are forces that prevent just easy access. That's why you can't fly now. Why? There's a force from flying. Gravity. So if you want to fly, you must be able to overcome. Same thing with wealth. Before you can access it, there are what we call derailment. One qualify for wealth. Does this one qualify for wealth? Derailment forces. And that's why before anybody how many try to save money? Hello? You've tried to save money. Now, have you noticed that save money? If you are collecting and just spending, no problem. But the moment you try to save, problems will be coming from all over the place. Take it away. So you don't save. These are derailment forces to prevent you from changing your position. But if you can withstand the temptations that come to take that money from you, and you are able to save, you can do what you need to do with that money. That takes, and it is revealed simply as discipline. Discipline. You have the knowledge that you have. You need discipline. Discipline, ability to subordinate your body and physical appetites to the mind. Mind is to think about what, but the body with its appetites will stop you. So for you to be able to move forward, you must be able to overcome odds. Ability to do that is what has when it comes to money, there is one money cycle. And for you to be able to make money, you must be a person who operates the money cycle. And for you to be able to operate the money cycle, requirement number one, after the ability to solve problems that we were talking about yesterday and this morning, because money follows whoever solves problems. The more problems you can solve, the more money you can make. The better you create to the world, to the community, the world will value you. Same with your organization. I'm sure some of us seated here, if you are working for somebody, if you want to know whether you are of value to the organization, you resign. Then listen to what they will tell you. Employee, what's the problem? Is it the salary? But if they don't value you, when you say, yeah, because you want to go, valuable you are to a society, money will flow. But that is just a starting point. What follows thereafter requires discipline. So the money cycle. This is, money goes through a cycle. Inability to operate in the cycle is what makes us to lack. The starting point is ability to solve a problem. Okay? That's the starting point of the cycle. So if you are out cycle, you won't until you enter the cycle. And you enter the cycle only with the ability to fight. Usually you come up with the solution to the problem, product or a service. Is that not so? So when you create a product or a service, you trade it. And it's expected that you trade it profitably. Many of us are engaged in activities to make money. Service people have need for, but we're not trading it profitably. We're not trading it profitably. There's great need for services everywhere. There's great we are producing everywhere. But if you can't trade it profitably, people are looking for solutions to problems, true. But the moment they find somebody with the solution to the problems, they will rush to you, but they want it for free. So if you do not know how to trade, after a time, you can't sustain yourself anymore. So you must trade it profitably. When you trade yourself, you will earn money. You will earn money. So it doesn't start with getting, it's not getting money. We talk of earning money. And you earn money by value creation and trading. Now, when you earn money, there are other steps that you must follow. But for you to go to the next step, you must preserve the money. Preserve. There are many of us who, okay, this next step, let's put it, distribute. Distribute. It's expected that when you earn money, you distribute. But between earning and distributing, there are thieves that can take it from you. And this legal and illegal. Legal thieves and illegal thieves. Who are illegal thieves? Who are legal thieves? Thieves, people who actually can steal the thing physically from you without giving you anything in return. But legal thieves are people who are not breaking any law. They advertise through, because the moment we have money, anything that comes our way, you buy, whether you need it or you don't. And there's money in the pocket, you buy. So you never get to distribute. So the money literally leaks before it gets to where you are supposed to distribute, because God entrusts money into our hands for distribution. Sit down and analyze all people who have been able to successfully do things. You find out that they have this. You find out that they have a book, Missing Link. You will analyze the case of one person. Moses. Moses wanted to be get to deliver until he acquired axe. K2C S through way that he will acquire this tax, this axe. I mean, that is why, friends, every day, because I told them in the morning that this axe, nobody teaches you or nobody hands them over. You acquire them as you live each day. So it is about living intentionally. But you can't do that unless you know that everything that happens to you comes. That's why you need to know this. Everything that happens to you is allowed by God if you are in his plan. Satan brings it as a test to destroy you, but God moderates it. 1 Corinthians 10:13 simply tells us that any test that comes your way, God has already, so it's right for you. God will not give you size 10 when you wear size 8. So every temptation, now your size. And in it, there are benefits. What are the benefits? Acquisition of acts. I will explain that more tomorrow. And that's why you have to live intentionally. Any life. Don't look at it from the angle, oh, my own, don't finish. My own. What is in it for me to learn? What is in it for me? What has this thing, what will this thing make me to? After this experience, who will I become? Some people go through certain experiences and end up becoming very bitter people. They become very angry people. Some become very greedy people. And by the time the place of your heart in the world, in your becoming. Many of us think the world is just a place where we will just tolerate to manage, because the thing is that we'll go to heaven. No, God is making you, because God is more concerned about who you are becoming than what you have. So it's about becoming, so that you can do, you live intentionally, so that you can be, to do. You live intentionally to become, so that you can do. And as a result, to solve problems is responsibility. to grow you. Why you should don't have money. As it is, what kind of character you have, you'll be in trouble. Because at the end, when you are asked to give account, money is a responsibility. Business is a responsibility before it comes your way. Or else it will destroy you. Because Satan will destroy you. Be about it. But God is full. God is now king. Do not have the to come our way. So the things that you have, not that you don't have them. Because when the time into your hand. But the problem is that most of us, or some of us, thinking about it, we're not even enjoying the things we have. That's the problem. And that's the strategy of Satan. To get us to be busy about what we don't have. So that at the end of the day, we waste what we already have. And then when the time for accounting comes, we'll be found. And at first, will be told on the last, get away from me, useless servant. We'd rather be told, well done, faithful servant. But for you to be told that, you must become a person who can do. I told them about the fact that this concept of becoming is key before you can do. That's why soldiers, when they recruit you, they will take you to the depot. At the depot, they are doing just one thing, making you a soldier. So you must become a soldier before you do soldier's work. Chapter 1, verse 17. King James. Can somebody read that for us very quick? Chapter 1, verse 17. Did you hear that? You must become a fishers of men before. You must become one. You in business. How discuss that very much.